Bitcoin Pizza Day, the story of Laszlo Hanyecz and the first real-world Bitcoin transaction. On May 22, 2010, a seemingly mundane transaction took place that would go down in history as a pivotal moment for Bitcoin. Laszlo Hanyecz, a software developer from Florida, made the first documented real-world purchase using Bitcoin, paying 10,000 Bitcoin for 2 Papa John's pizzas. At the time, the Bitcoins were worth about $41. But today, their value has soared into the billions, making this the most expensive pizza order ever recorded. This story dives into the details of that historic transaction, explores Hanyecz's contributions to Bitcoin, and reflects on the significance of what is now celebrated annually as Bitcoin Pizza Day. Laszlo Hanyecz was not just a casual Bitcoin enthusiast. He was a key figure in Bitcoin's infancy. Born and raised in Florida, Hanyecz discovered Bitcoin in April 2010, when its value was less than 1 cent per coin. As a skilled programmer, he became one of the earliest contributors to Bitcoin's development, working closely with Bitcoin's pseudonymous creator, Satoshi Nakamoto. Hanyecz's technical contributions were significant. On April 19, 2010, shortly after joining the Bitcoin Talk Forum, a hub for early Bitcoin developers, Hanyecz created the first macOS client for Bitcoin Core, the original software for running Bitcoin nodes. This allowed Apple users to participate in the Bitcoin network, expanding its accessibility beyond Windows and Linux systems. Hanyecz was among the first to realize that graphics processing units could mine Bitcoin far more efficiently than traditional CPUs. He wrote code to enable GPU mining, which exponentially increased the network's hash rate. This innovation, however, sparked a mining arms race, as it attracted more computational power to the network, making mining more competitive. Satoshi Nakamoto expressed mixed feelings about this development, cautioning Hanyecz about its potential to disrupt the network's early balance. By leveraging GPU mining, Hanyecz amassed a significant stash of Bitcoin, maybe 100,000, when mining a single block yielded 50 Bitcoin. This abundance of coins set the stage for his historic transaction. On May 18, 2010, Hanyecz posted on the Bitcoin Talk forum, offering 10,000 Bitcoin to anyone willing to buy him 2 large Papa John's pizzas. His post was specific. He wanted leftover pizza to nibble on later, and preferred toppings like onions, peppers, sausage, mushrooms, tomatoes, and pepperoni, but no weird fish topping or anything like that. He emphasized his goal, to have food delivered without ordering or preparing it himself, akin to a hotel breakfast platter. At the time, 10,000 Bitcoin were valued at approximately $41, based on the rudimentary exchange rate of less than half a cent per Bitcoin. Hanyecz's motivation was not just hunger. He aimed to demonstrate that Bitcoin could function as a medium of exchange in the real world. In 2010, Bitcoin was a niche experiment with no established value or widespread acceptance. Hanyecz saw it as an interesting system, but noted that nobody is using it. His transaction was a proof of concept to show that Bitcoin could be used as money. For 3 days, Hanyecz's offer went unanswered. By May 21st, he grew impatient and posted a follow-up asking, "So nobody wants to buy me pizza? Is the Bitcoin amount I'm offering too low?" This reflected the uncertainty of Bitcoin's value at the time. Few people saw it as practical currency, and even fewer were willing to accept it for goods or services. On May 22, 2010, 19-year-old Jeremy Jerkos Sturdivant, a fellow Bitcoin enthusiast, accepted Hanyecz's offer. The deal was finalized over IRC Chat, a common communication platform for early Bitcoiners. Sturdivant ordered 2 Papa John's pizzas, valued at approximately $25, and had them delivered to Hanyecz's home in Florida. In return, Hanyecz sent 10,001 Bitcoin to Sturdivant's Bitcoin address, including a 1 Bitcoin transaction fee to miners. The transaction was recorded on the Bitcoin blockchain in block 57,043 at 1:16 p.m., with Hanyecz announcing its success on Bitcoin Talk at 7:17 p.m. Hanyecz shared a photo of the pizzas with his family, cementing the moment's place in Bitcoin folklore. The pizzas, likely topped with standard ingredients, were a small victory for Hanyecz, who later said, "I felt like I was beating the internet, getting free food." The May 22nd transaction was not a one-off. Hanyecz kept his offer open, continuing to trade Bitcoins for pizzas from May 22nd to August 4th, 2010. In a 2014 Bitcoin Talk post, he revealed that he spent nearly 100,000 Bitcoin, mostly on pizzas, from a wallet that received 81,432 BTC between April and November 2010. At today's prices, with Bitcoin's value well established, those 81,432 Bitcoin would be worth billions. Hanyec's spending was facilitated by his prolific mining. In 2010, he could mine thousands of Bitcoin daily using his GPU setup. However, his GPU mining innovation increased network competition, raising the mining difficulty and eventually making it unsustainable for him to continue mining at that scale. By August 2010, he noted, "I cannot afford to keep doing it since I cannot mine thousands of coins a day anymore." The legacy of Bitcoin Pizza Day. The transaction's significance lies not in its cost, but in its impact. Hanyec's purchase marked Bitcoin's first real-world use as a currency, proving it could facilitate commerce outside the Bitcoin community. This event helped spark interest in Bitcoin as a viable alternative to fiat money, paving the way for its adoption. May 22nd is now celebrated globally as Bitcoin Pizza Day, with pizza providers offering discounts to Bitcoin users and exchanges like Binance hosting events to commemorate the milestone. The value of Hanyec's 10,000 Bitcoin has grown astronomically. 9 months later, February 2011, Bitcoin reached parity with the US dollar, making the pizzas worth $10,000. 2015, the pizzas were valued at $2.4 million. 2021, peak price of $69,000. The pizzas were worth $690 million. Today, the pizzas are valued at billions of dollars. The Bitcoin Pizza Index, which tracks the value of the 10,000 Bitcoin, even breaks down the cost of individual toppings, with a single green pepper now worth over $2.5 million and a black olive $2.2 million. Despite the staggering value of his spent Bitcoin, Hanyec has expressed no regrets. In a 2019 CBS interview with Anderson Cooper, he said, "It wasn't like Bitcoin had any value back then, so the idea of trading them for a pizza was incredibly cool." He viewed the transaction as a success, noting that it made Bitcoin real for some people. Hanyec remained active in the Bitcoin community. In 2018, he tested the Lightning Network, a second-layer solution for faster Bitcoin transactions, by purchasing Pizza Again, demonstrating his continued commitment to Bitcoin's practical use. Jeremy Sturtevant, the 19-year-old who accepted the 10,000 Bitcoin, also viewed the transaction positively. In a 2015 interview, he said, "A currency is meant to be spent," and noted that he used his Bitcoin to conduct business, including purchasing video games. Unlike Hanyec, Sturtevant used his Bitcoin address sparingly after the transaction, with only 4 additional transfers recorded between 2015 and 2020. Hanyec's transaction underscores Bitcoin's transformation from an obscure experiment to a global phenomenon. In 2010, its value was negligible, and trading it for pizza was a bold step toward establishing its utility. The Bitcoin community has mixed feelings about Hanyec. Some celebrate him as a pioneer who kick-started the Bitcoin economy, while others criticize the hodl mentality that discourages spending Bitcoin in anticipation of future price increases. Hanyec himself advocated for a spend-and-replace approach, arguing that Bitcoin's value depends on its use as a currency. Laszlo Hanyec's purchase of 2 Papa John's pizzas on May 22, 2010, was more than a quirky anecdote. It was a turning point that demonstrated Bitcoin's potential as a medium of exchange. His technical contributions, from enabling macOS compatibility to pioneering GPU mining, laid critical groundwork for Bitcoin's growth. While the billions of dollars price of those pizzas makes for a jaw-dropping story, Hanyec's legacy is his role in proving that Bitcoin could be more than a theoretical concept. It could buy dinner. Bitcoin Pizza Day reminds us of the risks and rewards of early adoption and the unpredictable journey of Bitcoin that continues to reshape finance.